What up? Hey, how's everybody doing out there?
Great.
Us too.
Yeah.
Hey, if you don't know Davy Williamson, you should.
Absolutely.
Davy, how are you, sir?
Awesome, guys. How's it going?
Going good. Going good.
First of all, I'm
It's
going to
good
start
to be here.
off. Listen to your music, man. I love that's my type. That's my style of music. So we're already BFFs at that.
Oh yeah, you're sitting here kind of
we're
head
having a good
banging
time.
a little bit. I liked it.
Exactly.
Keeping the angst high.
Right on.
Oh God, yeah,
So
definitely.
you're out there in North Carolina. You're out by the coast, huh?
I am Wilmington, North Carolina. I'm from here originally. I was born in Florida, but I was only there very, very little.
That doesn't
little
count.
time.
That
Doesn't count. It doesn't count. No, you're
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
That totally doesn't count.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I dig it out here. Eastern North Carolina's been home for a long time, and I enjoy it. So
That's awesome.
what about you guys?
So I got to ask a silly question first. Tar Heels or Blue Devils?
Oh.
It is a silly question. Tar Heels.
Tar Heels.
Yes.
Right on.
That's right.
All day, every day,
You
man.
got to be a NASCAR fan from where you're at, right? Aren't you?
You know, man, it's a good question. People ask me that often whenever I travel or I'm doing tours or whatever. I've been to a handful of races.
Okay.
The people watching is hilarious.
Oh, it's amazing, right? Yeah.
The racing, I don't really necessarily know what's going on. I'm just kind of
They
like,
turn and left.
ooh, look, circles. So
Right. Turn left.
that's the extent of my understanding it. I never know what's going on. Most of the time, there's a lot of drinking involved.
Right.
And so back when I was going to NASCAR races, we were definitely in the booze, but I haven't been to.
It's about the party, right? I mean,
It seems like it's definitely about the party, and everybody there that's what they're there for as well. That and the jackets and the camaraderie around whatever racer.
right.
I remember early years. I don't know if you guys remember, what was it called? The one with Tom Cruise.
Oh yeah, Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder. That's it. Days of Thunder is incredible, man. And
Yeah.
what was the guy's name? Dick Trickle. And I
Yeah.
always thought that was the funniest thing on earth. So I was always like, yeah, Dick Trickle. I don't even know if that was an actual racer.
I love it. I love that we started off an interview with a musician.
Yeah, and go totally sideways. Told you we were in a goofy mood. So
Yeah, man. That's good. It's good. It's refreshing. So
Yeah.
definitely.
what about you guys? Are you guys, where are you guys
We're
sitting
based
at?
out of Northern California,
Yeah,
just
West Coast.
northeast of Sacramento.
Yeah.
Northeast of Sacramento. So is that Truckee area?
We were about 50 minutes to an hour from Truckee.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Got
we're
it.
right at the Truckee's up there.
So, like,
where the
Lake
Donner
Tahoe?
Pass, and we're at the bottom of the hill.
So Lake Tahoe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all
South
close.
Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
We're close.
South Lake
We're
Tahoe?
close. You would Lake Tahoe would be south from Truckee. We would be east.
We can get to Truckee faster than Tahoe.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I was just in South Lake Tahoe
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
doing some radio promo out there, and there's a music venue out there that I know some people out called
Era.
Whiskey Digs.
Oh yeah. Are you coming out?
No, he was just here.
Yeah. Well, I was just there, but I'll be back out soon.
But you can come
Really?
play?
Yeah.
Yes.
As soon as we get through this COVID thing. So
Dude, we're
I'll
open.
talk
We
to you guys.
got shows going.
Please keep us informed on
Yeah.
when you're going to be playing up there, because we'd love to come
Oh my
see you.
gosh, absolutely.
Yeah, I would love to have you guys there. Come through and maybe do like a remote show.
Absolutely. That's
Cool.
exactly right.
I like
Well,
it.
let's talk about his music then, because
Yeah, we've gone
we're-
completely
we're-
sideways.
we're like, hey,
through,
here,
over,
and
up
now the show's
down.
ended. No.
Man,
Hey,
I
hey,
love
hey,
the way it's
Zippy.
going already.
So I like my rock. He likes his rock. I like a little heavier stuff.
Roll, rock and roll.
Yeah. Anyway, he rolls all over the place, but that's a different story. So,
Yeah.
who were some of your major influences growing up, and even till today?
Yeah.
Well, I've got to tell you, I'm all over the place with it. I'm going to kind of
Yeah.
move you guys with me as I'm moving around here because
No worries.
That's fine.
I like it.
Yeah.
I have a feeling my dog's about to show up. So
Oh, there's a puppy dog.
Cribs, Davy Williamson version.
Yeah, I like it.
So anyway, my influences as far as let's get that out of the way. So influences as far as music goes, I'm a big fan of the punk rock world, and No Effects, Lagwagon, Strung Out, Propaganda. These are all punk, like street punk, Agent Orange, old school stuff like that. Kind of early '90s, kind of street skate punk stuff. And then the classic rock side of things, and I like a lot of really obscure classic rock. Not necessarily so obscure, but stuff that people don't really listen to anymore. I'm a big Head East fan. I thought they were one of the greatest bands, underrated to death. You remember the songs like "Never Been Any Reason"? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I love that shit. Hot Tuna.
Okay.
Tennessee. I'm also really big into like the yacht rock stuff, man. And how this influenced me to be who I am today with music, I don't think I'll ever be able to pinpoint. I'm just a massive music fan, and I draw influence in weird ways from these different acts. I mean, obviously, I love Metallica. I listened to that growing up, but I play all the instruments, and I don't know if this is something that you guys noticed in the press kit that goes out to you before we begin podcasts and things like that. But those influences are so random. It kind of confuses people. It goes from Marvin Gaye to Metallica to, like the street punk stuff, like No Effects to, then like Christopher Cross, and it's just
Oh my God. I haven't heard that name in years.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. But I play all the instruments. So for each instrument that I've learned to play, I learned it in different genres. Whereas I learned more like the jazz style guitar stuff and vocally more pop and a more like subtle, like mellow kind of thing comes from like the yacht rock thing. But the drumming is obviously punk influenced as well as metal. And then bass playing, it's more like that Christopher Cross thing, just keeping it like smooth, like in the background, but real, groovy kind of thing. So for me, it's been a hell of a journey musically, because when I get asked these questions, I almost get stuck and don't know how to answer them because it sounds crazy. It almost sounds bipolar that, I'm like, hey, Christopher Cross, but as soon as we're done with that, let's jump on the Sepultura album. You know what I mean? So
that is freaking perfect, actually, if you really think about it, because you're pulling from all different areas in all different ways. Like I was expecting, to be quite honest, you to say, oh, just this or just this, but you gave me A through Z, which I think is great. I love it. And sorry, I had a squirrel moment there. I'm trying to collect my thoughts. I got excited. So
I have that effect. I have that effect on people.
I'm here. Anyway,
squirrel.
I heard an interview years ago with James Hetfield.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff that he took from, or not necessarily took from, but really liked, was Merle Haggard. And some of his songs that he wrote were in regards to how he thought Merle Haggard's interpretation would be, and that's the way that he wanted to go. Now, do you ever take like okay, here we go, let's go Agent Orange, I want to specifically make it sound kind of similar to this, but how they would think it would sound coming from me?
I try to put myself in the shoes, like I said, of each instrument, what I draw from it. So for me, I'll give you a great example, is a song called Bloodstains by Agent Orange. So but you take that, but then you put a melodic vocal line on it, whereas when they do it, it's real blasty vocal, and it's real direct bass line, like it's on top of the kick, dum 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 dum. It follows it. I try to not follow something like that, not follow the guitar, not follow the bass, not follow the vocal line or the melody, and then I'll then kind of when I'm recording, I'll delete or mute the drum track. Then I'll build something different, and then I'll place it on top of the drum track. And then I'm like, holy shit, that's wild.
Yeah, that's cool.
I do that over and over and over. And then a lot of times it sounds like total trash at first, but it sparks ideas in me. And then I go, aha, I think I got something here.
Yeah.
And then I come in and go, okay, now let me perfect what it is that I've done. So it's my way of kind of poking the creativity bear.
I like it. That's your bubble that you're using.
Yep, you got it. That's the bubble for me.
Okay, nice. I like it. That's cool.
So
that's just because him and I were sports guys, and we sit there and, you know, everybody has a different way of learning, and everybody has a different way of their own creativity. That's and right. Talking with you, it's like, what is that creativity? Because the reason why I brought that question up was because I was trying to get a little more, but I couldn't spit it out. As you could tell, I was obviously having issues there for a moment.
He nailed it. He hit it. Yeah.
But thank you so much for that, because I couldn't get it out in the words that I wanted to. And you just, you know, hammered it home to let everybody know out there different ways of doing different things to be creative. And that's what I was trying to say. Thank you for interviewing yourself through me in a way that has to be done.
Can you tell I've done this before?
Don't have a stroke, I tell you, just don't.
Yeah. Well,
so Davey, let me ask you this, because this has got to go the orient. You play everything. You said you play all the instruments, right?
I do. Mm-hmm.
So what instruments did you start with, and then how did you get into the patience and also the commitment of learning everything?
Oh man, I have a way of finding the good in everything, and also have a way of finding the bad in things. But when again, like I just explained, kind of with the Agent Orange thing with the song Bloodstains, which is a fantastic track. I mean, I love it to death. I grew up listening to it. Great guys. I've seen them live a couple times. Incredible. And to me, what stands out is the drum track, the vocal track. Not to discredit the guitars or discredit anything else, but my interest wasn't in that. It's not what triggered me going, oh man, that's so awesome. That's so sick. Listen to what they're doing on the drums. So I would learn that, and I would learn that on the drums. But then I would go, oh man, do you hear that REO Speedwagon track? Yeah, I'm gonna learn that. I'm gonna learn that piano part. You know, and then I go, oh shit, you hear the Jackson track? I better figure out how to dance. You know, it's like the same kind of stuff.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
But
so your drive was pulled by inspiration of the little pieces that you found.
The little pieces, yeah. And then once I internalized them and processed it, I come up with my own rendition, or I come up with my own way of writing and putting out music of my own by those little things. This what we like to call, I guess, the influences, right?
Yeah.
Which goes back to the original question. Who are my influences? Yeah. Probably every musician who's done anything great or good that I've had the experience of listening to.
You know, what's cool about what you said was, usually somebody comes in, they're like, I want to be a drummer, or I want to be a guitar player, or, you know, like we always hear, bassists are born, not really made, right? But you were more talking about, like, I'd go learn this because of this. I'd learn piano because REO Speedwagon, or whatever, those little things. That's the first time I've ever really heard that. And that's really cool. But what's the first actual instrument you picked up then?
It's odd. I picked up a guitar, but didn't really understand it.
Yeah, okay. I get that, because I'm struggling with my guitar.
Yeah, but I think I had a sense of rhythm early on. And my brother, for Christmas, it kind of went something like this. And I may be wrong, so if my brother watches this, I'm sorry if I told it incorrectly.
It's okay, you can rip on
Parts of this is going to be wrong, parts of this is going to be very true, and he's going to disagree with it.
All right.
Of course.
I have a friend that lived across the street from us, and I believe it was Christmas or something along those lines. I ended up with a guitar. Though my stepfather had a guitar, my father had a guitar or a bass, and they kind of were all musically inclined. My brother ends up with a drum set. I end up with a guitar. I just wasn't that interested in the guitar at that moment, even though I had seen it around me. But those drums, man, as soon soon as I got to listen and started focusing on the drums and listening to the sound, I was just like, that's me, man. Not only that, but I was able to take out the aggression on the drums. And yeah, I felt like I was like beating something up. You know, I was like an angsty teen. And I basically realized my brother couldn't play the drums. And as I was getting better at guitar and was able to hold the rhythm on the guitar, he couldn't keep up on the drums. So I was like, man, just let me do it. So kind of like as a bratty attitude. And I was like, get off here. I was like, you take the guitar. He can play the guitar very well, but I ended up kicking him off of the drums and basically.
So he can play the guitar though.
My brother can, yeah.
So you kicked him off. He was the drum guy. You kicked him off. You went to guitar.
I ended that. Yeah, that's done.
That's stick a fork on him. He's done. Get out of it.
But then he can rip it on the guitar now.
He can, yeah. And he's actually played in some of the bands that I was in earlier years, and done some pretty large shows with me.
Nice.
So
he asked a question recently in one of our interviews of a musician, and we're seeming to be finding this out, is that musicians will listen to music before they go out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not their music. It's something else that gets them pumped. What is your song? That's something new that we kind of fell into. And now I want to ask it every time because it's so cool to hear.
An example is Meatloaf will play Helter Skelter before his show. Metallica plays, what is it? Good, Bad, and the Ugly. I totally forgot the name of the song now.
But what's yours?
Anyway, what's yours?
You guys you're probably not gonna believe this. I like to listen to a lot of 80s stuff. I'm a big fan of like Eric Carmen, you know, Without You, you know.
Wow.
Living is without you. I can't live. You know,
bring it back to the 80s.
I like Aha. Take on me.
Take on me.
Yeah, that kind of gives you the energy to get out there. You're like, yeah.
And that gets you pumped up before a show.
Well, again, I think it's energizing. That the 80s it just energized kind of thing. You know, I don't know what it is, but that's my thing.
Well, it blows me away because athletes.
I like the hair metal bands too, man. The old school like Tesla and shit.
Sure.
Yeah, man. That's good.
But like we're both sports guys. We're both sports guys, so we had our songs before we go out and play.
Yeah.
Right. So it's so phenomenal. It's
the crossover.
The crossover that musicians do the same thing is kind of what's been blowing my mind lately. It's so cool to hear that there's such a similarity in when you're going to go out and perform or you're going to go out and do your thing. That there's similar things. So I'm going to take it further, which we haven't asked. Is there superstitions that you have?
Ooh. Oh, that's a good one. I don't think so. I'm not thinking.
Is there a certain way you have to wear socks, or you can't wash your underwear for a week, or?
I do that anyway. Come on.
Nothing like that. There's routines that I do. Vocal exercises, stretching.
Yep.
I won't wear a new pair of shoes. I always make sure I wear old. You definitely got to have old shoes on because I don't know if you ever noticed, but when you get a new pair of shoes, you're not used to them a lot, so you'll trip on them. So I always make sure I wear really old shoes, and I usually wear Vans or Chucks because they're flat. I know that my footing is there, so
That's one. Yeah, that's definitely one.
So I'm going to take this a step further because I like the way that we're going with this. Yeah, my hands go crazy because of the Italian.
And he gets excited.
Oh yeah, when I start getting excited. Anyway.
Okay.
So for you, say you've had a great night and going crazy wild. What would you listen to calm you down?
I think it goes into that whole realm of like the slow jam kind of yacht rock stuff. Okay. Maybe like George Benson, Steely Dan's a good one to kind of keep me calm down. It's real kind of like groovy. You can just chill out, like riding the wave kind of thing. Steely Dan's a good one. maybe to go back to that Christopher Cross thing.
Yeah.
I like REO Speedwagon. That's kind of get you a little more hype when that's going a little more hype. But there's some songs that are in there that kind of bring you back.
Get into a balance.
The style of music that I play to go into Steely Dan is a drastic drop.
Boom, right.
Yeah. But
when you're playing, obviously, or when you're out, are you mostly singing now, or are you like, what instrument are you playing? What are you kind of doing while you're?
Yeah, so I haven't been playing since the album really was released because there's no.
Right.
It's just been crazy. I haven't had a chance to. My first tour dates were supposed to start in mid-September, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen now because COVID's coming back. So I've literally, I'll tell you, it was a double-edged sword when I released the album, because I did it because no one else was releasing an album, and I found it to be the path of least resistance, so that I could get into the charts, that I could become more noticed. Because if I'm the only person releasing music, on the chart, large scale, then I'm the easiest sought after, right? So I thought I would beat them to the punch.
Right.
The downside to that is because it was self-financed. I could do it for cheap. I could get it released, and I didn't have to worry about tour support to back it financially.
Right.
I had set aside the funds, what would normally cost just studio time, without any promotion, without any kind of anything happening. You couldn't do that if pre-COVID, or I guess what would be post-COVID, because you'd spend all your money in the studio because nobody wanted to. They're not going to charge you less if they're busy.
Right.
Now it was just like, well, whatever, just come in. Nobody else is recording, I guess.
Oh, wow.
There. So I was able to kind of take advantage of that scenario, and I haven't had a chance to play really since, unfortunately. But at the same time, it hasn't killed me because I didn't have this crazy budget set aside financially to try to have to support it by performing live.
Gotcha.
Lucky in that aspect, but I'm ready. I definitely want to get out there and do it. And I've done some radio promotion tours. I've played a couple dates here and there, like acoustic dates in different places in Colorado, and radio stations and things like that. But
are you heavy, like when you're up playing, when you are live?
Mm-hmm.
Do you find yourself in your own little bubble, or do you tend to really feed off of the fans that are in the room?
The guys that I play music with, correct me if I'm wrong about the question, but the guys I play music with, you're talking about feeding off the other players, right?
Well, I'm feeding off of like the audience. Like some people have talked. Well, actually, you're right. All the above, because your other guys, you could be feeding off them too. But is there a bubble between you and the fans or the audience, or are you the type that really gets going by having the reaction with the fan?
I think it starts with making sure that the band is vibing, like the guys that are playing the instruments. Yeah. And once that's right, the crowd seems to notice it and they feel it. I think there's something in the air that says, yeah, we're into something, right? Yeah. You've probably seen shows before where the band's all probably pissed at each other, nobody's hitting the right notes, and it's just they all look like they're pissed off. And it's kind of like, yeah, they were all right. But then you find the band, everybody's firing on all cylinders, and it just makes the show better. And I think that it starts at home before it goes to the crowd, and it's not because it's intentional. I just think that foundationally, if you're not there, I think that it's hard for the crowd to attach and really appreciate what's going on.
Right. You brought up a great point there. It starts at home. As a music fan, we don't see what happens in the back. Mm-hmm. Necessarily, and you guys come out, and if you're feeding off each other, you can either bring each other up or bring each other down. I mean,
totally. I mean, I don't know, I can't remember exactly who it was, which artist, but somebody we all know. Maybe I shouldn't say the name anyway, but maybe I want to say maybe it was Van Halen, or it used to be somebody along those lines. I could be totally wrong though, so don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
But they all ride. No, I think it was Aerosmith. They all ride in different tour buses.
Oh.
They don't even ride in the same tour bus. They all ride
Yeah.
separate tour buses.
Yeah.
And
I can't remember who that is. Now I remember hearing that now that you say it.
I think it was Aerosmith. I could be totally wrong on all this. I know for a fact that there was a band that had to do that because none of them got along, and they said it was the only way for them to perform live.
Sounds like a Van Halen thing.
It sounded good. Doesn't it sound like a Van Halen thing?
It sounds like a Van Halen,
or maybe
thing, right?
even a Bon Jovi thing.
Yeah, maybe. But I thought
there was a huge riff.
Yeah, but I think.
Did they crush that?
I don't know. I don't know, and I probably shouldn't say.
Yeah.
We'll just say we don't know.
We don't know.
I like
That's going to work too.
It was probably the Traveling Wilburys.
That too.
That actually makes a hell of a lot more sense if you think about it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it does.
I mean, superstar bands, right?
Exactly.
So let me ask you guys a question.
Yes, please. Cool. Love it. Finally.
Since this is a sports thing, let's who is your favorite NFL football teams?
Football teams?
The 49ers for me.
Yeah, I'm a 49er fan.
You guys are 49ers? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing. I've got a lot of connections in the NFL. And so I have some people that I know that are even playing. So then you're kind of a fan of a person.
Right.
So I have it a little different when it comes down there. But if I had to say I had a team, it would be the 49ers.
Okay. Feel you.
Yeah. How about you?
How you like?
Yeah. I felt you know what, that breath was about me knowing that I'd asked you a question and knew it was coming right back at me.
Oh yeah. You know it. Knuckleball, here it comes.
I'm embarrassed to say, man, but I am a die-hard Dolphins fan.
You know what? I can respect it.
Yeah. Shula back in the day.
Right. Well, back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, they just haven't found that right,
The quarterback situation?
Tua, though.
Well, then you look at Tannehill.
Tua. I'll tell you what, I really liked Tua. And when he came in and just a little time.
You know what? I can respect anybody who's diehard for their team.
Yes.
No matter what they are. We're 49er fans. The last time the 49ers won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. 1994.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That's the thing, So there's a respect in that. You stick with your team.
Yeah.
I can respect that, but better than somebody who jumps on a bandwagon.
Yeah. I'm definitely not a bandwagon guy, even though now, being in North Carolina, there's the Panthers. I'm a Dolphins fan, man. Like always have been, never going to change it. I've been so diehard Dolphins for so long that it's like, if I change now, man, I'd be lying to myself too,
Yeah. You know what? But anybody who can pull off those colors walking around town, I'll give you
Here we go. Here's all this shit talking.
So now, based on that, what we've just discussed, when you come to Tahoe, you must wear a Dolphins jersey now.
Yes.
To play in South Tahoe when we come. It's gonna, and you know what? In respect, I'll have some Dolphins gear on too, for you.
Okay. All right.
How's that?
So how about I'm gonna need security.
Yeah, you're pretty good.
I like it.
Right on.
Oh man.
It's definitely gonna take that.
You got anything else? We got to kind of.
Well, I want to ask him. Does he have any shout outs for anybody?
Absolutely.
Everybody really. I mean, I gotta say, I think you guys we were put together through my management company, MTS.
Yeah, MTS.
Yeah.
Thank you, MTS.
Definitely. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah. Michael does a great job. I appreciate everything he does. The Music Academy and the Music Cares program that they do. I just recently was brought in as a member with the Grammys in the Music Academy, and just did a submission to be nominated for next year. So hope all your listeners out there, anybody who's also a voting member, make sure that they give their old buddy Davy Williamson a vote for Rock Single of the Year. And ISSA, which is the International Singer-Songwriter Association, I've got 2 nominations with them. That takes place on the 14th.
Nice.
And then September.
14th of September or August?
August, yeah, a few days.
Thank you.
Yep, so that's coming up. And so I have 2 nominations there. Hopefully I'm able to bring something home from it. And then obviously September we have the Josie Awards, which is the largest independent Music Awards show. And that takes place in Tennessee. I've got a nomination there as well.
Nice.
So
and
everybody and anybody who supported me along the way and pushed me and my music.
That's awesome.
And allowed the opportunity to have it on your show and be on you guys' show. So thank you guys.
You know what? You've got a shout out.
Yes, I got a shout out to Anchor by Spotify, who's one of our sponsors, actually. We always want to say thank you very much. We really appreciate you for sponsoring us, Anchor by Spotify, folks. You can find our podcast there, and you can go to YouTube and see us on YouTube.
Yep, which is where they're watching right now.
Right here. Yeah, exactly.
Or they're listening, and they can watch this.
Well, exactly. We still got to give them a shout out.
Shout out.
Hey, thanks,
Davey. I can talk to you forever. You're fun.
I know.
And I can't wait till you come out. I definitely got to see you live, but I want to follow up with you in the future. See how things going. All these new awards come in. #1 iTunes South Africa, right?
Yeah, #1 on the iTunes rock charts. Yeah, in South Africa.
Amazing. That's awesome.
I think it was number 17 in Canada I got up to. And
nice.
There's been a couple of them. It's doing pretty well, but I couldn't do it without the support and you guys kind of spreading the word and letting people know. So thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely.
Sounds like a world tour coming up.
Hopefully, as soon as we can get rid of this COVID thing. So
yeah,
truth.
Right on.
All right. Hey, thanks again.
I appreciate you.
Everybody, thank you guys for watching or listening. We appreciate you. We love you. You guys have a great day.
What up?
Rock on, guys.
Take care.